Kyle from Magpie 24/7. I hope you're all good. So, Tottenham Hotspur 5, Newcastle United 1, and it's been a while since we've been beat to this extent, but yeah, I had to take a little bit of time to think about the game and really try and dissect what the fuck happened yesterday because, in all honesty, like, the first half was so competitive. We matched Tottenham in every sense of the word, but as soon as they came off with the second half, it just looked like they didn't come out for the second half at all. Like, the defending on display was Steve Bruce-esque shit going on, which just fell apart. And like, yeah, you can be critical of Newcastle and still support the team. Like, that's a concept I don't think people are getting at the minute. That, like, yeah, you can critique Eddie Howe and his team when they do bad, but that doesn't mean you want him out or anything. I've seen a couple of things on Twitter where there's like a picture half of Eddie Howe and then Steve Bruce, and it's like that's not the case. It's like that's not what people are saying. Although some people are making a joke of it and stuff, that's not what they're saying. And it's like yesterday was a really infuriating performance, but we're Newcastle fans, like, we've seen fucking worse. I've seen a club worse run, play worse. I remember travelling down to Leicester a couple of years ago, 5-0 defeat, and it was pissing down a rain. It was a fucking shit show to say the least. Like, this second half was absolutely dire. Basically all they did tactically, Tottenham, was make Harry Kane a centre attacking midfielder, and he ripped when you arsehole. He did. It was just like the first half was good, and that's the positive you can take, but the second half was so frustrating to concede 4 goals, two in the first 10 minutes of the second half, and two in the remaining 5 minutes was just total capitulation. It's not like a Newcastle team under Eddie Howe in particular to play like that in a second half. I mean, players that have been steady since coming in. I mean, I've seen the likes of True Faith and that say that Dan Burn is the best signing that we've ever signed in January. He was made to look like Mike Williamson, like latter day Mike Williamson yesterday. He was terrible. Maximin was so off the boil, it's unreal. Matty Target didn't play well. Shea, although he scored in the first half, had a shocking second half. Like, anything that could have went wrong in this game of football did in that second half, and we got rightfully punished for it. I mean, Tottenham showed what they're capable of yesterday. They were absolutely fantastic in that second half, and credit to them. But we offered nothing in that half, and if anything, I think it's a reality check because, let's be honest, a lot of us thought we were safe. Even David Ginola before the game on Sky was saying, like, I think Newcastle, whether they win or lose this game, are already staying up. That's a reality check because we've got 3 home games on the bounce now. We've got Wolves, we've got Leicester, and we've got Crystal Palace coming up at home, and then we've got a game at Norwich. These next 4 games are huge because if we lose another couple, we're going to easily get dragged into that bottom 3, and then we've got a lot of big teams in the last 6-7 games. So, like, there's still a task to be done, especially in these next 4 games coming up are huge. And I just hope the players and the staff look at it as a reality check, because if they don't, and they play like that between now and the end of the season with who we've got coming up, we're gonna be. It's only the start of It's only gonna be the start of it. We'll get battered every week if we play like that. Obviously, the difference between the last manager and the new manager is they'll look at it and they'll dissect it and they'll be like, well, where did we go wrong? Where did the team go wrong? Can we make changes? Whereas Steve Bruce would be like, well, you know, well, and that's all you get. Or you fuck off on holiday or something. But as a performance yesterday, it was absolutely terrible. Like, some of the players need to have a hard look at themselves. And, like, I might get slated for this, but I think Maxi needs to have a look at himself as well, to be honest. The last two games he's played, Everton, Tottenham, Newcastle have conceded the exact same goal through him fucking on with a ball in his own half. Don't get us wrong, I love Alan St-Maximin. I think he's one of the most talented players to put on a black and white shirt this century, this decade, last 10 years, under whatever. I think he's an amazing player on his day, but he keeps fucking on with the ball in his own half, and it's really doing me head in. Like, he'll lose the ball in midfield. Dan Burn will try and cover him, and he's caught out of position. We're left with nobody to defend, and it's because Maxi keeps fucking on with the ball, and it's like, I love Maxi to death, but if I'm going to critique him, that's one place I would. He needs to stop fucking on with the ball in the middle of the park and thinking he can beat everybody, because although he did take a couple of kicks in that, in yesterday's game, like, you know what I mean? Like, those are the kind of things he needs to try and get out of his game if he wants to make the French squad, if he wants to, like, shut haters up, because he has been speaking from a motivated standpoint that he wants to prove people wrong, and, like, people that are going to nitpick at his game are going to use things like that, and, like, he needs to stop losing the ball in areas like that, because it is conceding with goals and drop and like, it wouldn't have made a difference yesterday, but that's just a short thing. I've seen a couple of people slate Dan Burn as well. I don't agree with that at all, to be honest. I think Dan Burn's been absolutely excellent. Yes, he's made a couple of mistakes, but since he's came in, he has been excellent. Just that second half, I think everybody that has been decent turned to absolute shit. Like, they were just shit. Matty Targer got ripped in your arsehole. Dan Burn was shocking. Manquillo was absolutely abysmal. Like, John Joe had a bad game. Joe Linton didn't affect anything in the game, barring pushing Bentacore halfway up the M1. Fraser wasn't on it. Like, there was a lot of bad performances. So, like, if we can give them a bypass, and just say, right, refocus next game and take it from there, then that's great. But it's going to be difficult. Obviously, when you get beat 5-1 and that away from home against a good side, it just kind of shows the level, like, because these new owners have got steady ambitions and want to compete at the highest level. They've just been shown what close to the highest level looks like. That's not a Liverpool or a Man City. That's Tottenham. They're, like, fighting for Champions League, and the depth in class was very, very clear to see. A couple, like, I do want to end on a positive though, because I think it's shit to slate the players, it is, because I don't want to slate them, because they've done so well since the turn of the year and Eddie Howe. But Bruno Guimaraes played yesterday, came on, and he was such a bright light in the game, getting the ball forward, mobilising. Like, he looked very competent and very, he's just got that extra bit, and I think from now on, up until this point, the three midfielders that we've had in the middle have had no reason to be dropped. There's a reason now. Play Bruno Guimaraes from the start of every game now at the end of the season, unless he's not fit enough to play. He's just such a bright spot in midfield. He just makes things happen. And even though we were absolutely abysmal defensively yesterday, when he came on, we had something other than trying to pass Maxi the ball and have him run through several players. I mean, don't get us wrong, I like what our team's about: fight, passion, everything on Eddie Howe, all for it. And I always will be. Like, where Eddie Howe's concerned, he's done an excellent job, but I'm not going to hold back where the players are concerned after yesterday's performance, because on the one performance, it was absolutely unacceptable. But in the bigger picture, Newcastle need 2 or 3 more wins, and that's realistic in the next 4 games. And that's a result of Eddie Howe and his team. When he came in, was 6 or 7 points from safety. Do you know what I mean? Now we're 9 points up above that. But bit of a reality check from Newcastle needed. Like, they just need to look at themselves. They can have an off game. They've had one. But time to kick on now and try and stay in this league. But let us know what you thought. Let us know what you think of the video. Let us know what you thought of particular players. Who was your man of the match in a 5-1 draw and Howie Kyle? But yeah, let us know what you thought of the game, and let us know what your predictions are going to be going into the Wolves game next weekend. But I love yous and leaves for now. I'll catch you on the next Magpie 24/7 video, and yeah, catch you in a bit, everyone. Ta-ra. Bye for now.